Well, folks, I hope that you were as excited as I am for the season finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's time to break it down, my friends. I'm Peel.
And I'm Travis, and this is the Travis and Peel Show.
Travis, man, I'm sad. I'm kind of sad, man.
Sad in
Last
a
episode,
in a bittersweet way. Are you weeping tears of joy or tears of
bittersweet,
sadness? Bittersweet.
bittersweet. I mean, it's the end of this saga we went through for the past 6 weeks, and Falcon and Winter Soldier delivered on so many different notes. It was a stark, pun intended, contrast against WandaVision, and just the different mix of the comedy presented in this show, the action, the depth of humanity and the character development of all these people that we got. Not even just Bucky and Sam, but with Agent Carter, with Zemo, with even going into some of the newer characters, the Flag Smashers, everything, and even getting Torres. We we have a lot of stuff to unpack in this show that's going to come to fruition moving forward into, once again, the MCU's next phase. And I'm very excited about it. And this show kicked off a bunch of stuff, starting with the new Captain America.
The new Captain America.
That suit was clean, baby. That suit's clean.
It was
one gripe.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't like the white. I don't like the white up here. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's too much. Take it back a little bit. His face looked weird.
I think it's maybe the. I think it's
the outfit's awesome.
It's probably the fit more than anything. That is probably the most comic accurate, thread for thread comic accurate outfit that we've had out of almost any of the Avengers. Like, seriously. I like the suit. I like the white. I like the half mask, essentially, with the goggles. You got that Wakanda tech in the goggles, too, which is really neat. I was a huge fan of the suit. I thought it was cool. Real quick, let me jump backwards real quick before we actually jump into the show. Let's just wrap up a non-spoiler section. I know how you feel. I loved this episode. I thought for many, many reasons it was poignant. It was creative in terms of like this great action scene. We haven't seen really cool, low key, because great action scenes in Endgame where you have like thousands of superpowers going off left and right. This is more of your Captain America Winter Soldier, like Captain America 2 proper type of combat, like your Civil War type combat where it's a lot of hand-to-hand fighting and everything. And the choreography in this was really, really good. So I was a huge fan. But let me start with this, my man. Towards the end of us reviewing WandaVision, I made a comment. WandaVision was so good, so new, fresh.
Indeed it was.
And
fresh.
So creative. I didn't see how characters... I made a comment saying that I didn't see how characters like Bucky and Sam would be able to follow up with a show like WandaVision. Do you think I was wrong?
Do I think that you were wrong to believe that these two characters would not be able to fill the next step of shoes in the television endeavors of Marvel and Disney Plus?
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you were wrong. I think that this was even better character development.
I want to say that I agree. I think on paper at the end of the day, and I'm going to reserve judgment until I have a true final rewatch of everything so I can kind of like see everything in a binge format. And I'll do that soon. But right now, I'm trying to like separate the fact that this is fresh, it just happened, and I'm like still kind of shaky and giddy about it.
Hours ago.
Literally hours ago. I think I agree with you. I really think the last 3 episodes, the back half of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, was probably better than the whole of WandaVision. What's great about the show, there was never any, like with WandaVision, there was a few episodes where you had to get introduced into the situation. You had it was a slow burn. You earned your time with WandaVision until you got that payoff. And some question the payoff because of all the things that were teased that didn't come to fruition. They didn't do that.
Right.
Like Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't fall into that trap of like, promising, like kind of half promising like some secrets and things that are popping up. Anything that that we were thinking that would be kind of like a stylistic cameo or a hidden character popping in, anything like that. The show didn't really set us up for anything like that, and I appreciate it, especially coming off
Well, it
of
wasn't
it.
the show necessarily that set us up.
Well,
Let's be fair. That it was online.
WandaVision set us up with a lot of clues that made us think more was happening. Let's be honest. And this show,
And in a different show style, that is definitely more of a, I would say, obviously mystical in that way of of magic and everything. But it is meant to be more deceiving because it was a show of what the hell is going on, because it was the unraveling of her mind. So I guess in that it was more subliminal in that sense,
right?
And then complete different stark contrast with the psychiatry that was dealt with that
Right.
we saw in
Right.
Falcon Winter Soldier. So it is
And-
apples and oranges in my case.
But this show went out of
belief.
it. I think this show went out of its way to not try to subvert fans' expectations, and I really appreciated that about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think 6 episodes was the sweet spot. I think WandaVision probably would have been able to nail it at 6 episodes. I think 6 should be like the magic number for 6 or 7 should be the magic number for these Marvel TV shows, just in my
That
opinion.
extended movie feel.
Yeah, I agree. But going into the show to really focus on it, because that is why you guys are here. I thought it was really great. Kicking right off with the unveiling of, and guys, we're gonna start spoiling the episode here, by the way. So if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go see it and come back. The unveiling of his, the unveiling him busting through the window at the very beginning of the episode, kicking a little ass. Someone saying, "Who the hell are you?" And I am Captain America. He was. The character development, that moment right there, his first lines. God, we've been earning that moment for 5 hours. Every single bit of Sam in this episode was earned and emotionally felt. I am all in on this Captain America. I am all in on Sam as a character. I am all in on the direction that we're going to be going. We just got the announcement today. It is confirmed. Captain America 4 is going to happen with Sam at the helm. If there, look, there's a lot of political stuff in this. Not even political, but like socioeconomical in this. And we're not going to try to like beat to death like how we feel on a political level or how we feel about social change that's happening in this country. But there are people who are going to not like this decision. There are people that are going to hate Captain America. There are people that are going to hate Sam as being Captain America, and I feel sorry for those people because what a goddamn treat this episode was. Just in this fight choreography, his comedic lines, his confidence after building it up over 5 episodes of trying to become this Captain America and not thinking that he was good enough, and then him like finally taking the step into taking the mantle. And God, I gotta tell you, man, I you and I are people who have had, like, we've been Captain America for 80 years. You and I, like, we have been Captain America for 80 years. And there's an entire generation, an entire race of people who now get to say that they are Captain America. And there is something beautiful about that. There is something powerful about that. And this show did not shove that down your throats, in my opinion. This show showed you realistically how a race feels. And it was portrayed really, really well with Sam, with Isaiah. The things in this episode were just so heartfelt. I'm not going to lie. I was welled up the entire episode. Melissa next to me was in tears the entire episode. The second he busted the window and we saw him in the suit, she was in tears. And she was sniffling throughout the entire hour. Leading up to the very end to where they even changed the title of the show. That was just...
Yeah, that last title card, man, was fantastic.
I'm telling you, man, I have not been able to let go of how affected I am emotionally by this. I think that it was a beautiful ending, a happy ending for both Sam and Bucky. And Bucky was there. Bucky got some, got a good happy ending. But man, this was the Sam show. Let's be real. Like this was
Yeah,
Sam's coming out party.
and during this, this adventure of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, or now Captain America and the Winter Soldier, we have seen, yes, the socioeconomic, trends of what's happening mirroring real life. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen the race relations and the
Mm-hmm.
struggles and hardships that
Mm-hmm.
people have to deal with. We've seen um, how veterans are treated. We've seen a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things that are a mirror of our reality, and that's something that Marvel has always wanted to do. And we spoke about this earlier. I shared a video in our on Facebook in our group from Stan Lee. It was
Mm-hmm.
one of his last videos. It was from like TikTok, is before he passed and everything. And it was a video showing the MCU on top and Stan Lee giving this speech below, talking about how Marvel has always been inclusive and how that everybody deserves, just like you said, to be a hero. He said it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever. If you're gay, straight, and everything in between. If you're a man, you're a woman, or you're something else, you deserve to be a hero, and you can be, because it's about what's inside you and how you treat people. And every day you can do good. Every day you can help somebody, and every day you can release that kindness and righteousness inside you. And that's what makes everybody a part of the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beautiful. And then this episode happened, and it shows that relation of how everything can come together and
Mm-hmm.
how everything can triumph that's good and wholesome, like not just in our world, but in this realm that we've been, I mean, we personally have had this our entire life in the comic books and in cartoons and in video games and in the movies recently over the past like 11, 12 years. It's so great seeing, this come to life, and
Mm-hmm.
for us to get these real wins, and especially on a week coming off the heels of so many social,
It made it more
downtrodden things that came to
powerful for
fruition.
sure.
It did. It's like they couldn't this I don't know, the way that Falcon Winter Soldier came out, it hit all the notes that
Mm-hmm.
related directly to what was happening in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, great job, because it touched on so many things. And yeah, it was fantastic. It was powerful. But to back to like more of the actual comic book aspect of this, it
Mm-hmm.
was wonderful. You touched on, man, the fight scenes, the action scenes, the characters, the what's next coming out with everybody. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we got the new Captain America. We
Mm-hmm.
have Bucky resolving his past and coming out showing that he can be good. And even when he was rescuing those peoples, them thanking him,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for saving us.
I don't
And
think
that
anyone's ever
impact,
thanked. I don't think anyone's ever, aside from Steve,
right.
has never thanked Bucky for anything.
And he stopped, and he was taken back by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
And
powerful.
that was a great moment. And
Mm-hmm.
even John Walker got a little bit of redemption in this, when he had that moment of, do I keep doing what I have been, blindly being angry and going after the flag smashers,
Carly
or
and yep.
helping people? And he did. He made the Steve Rogers decision and went and saved those people from falling over,
Did I
even
need
at his
a,
own peril, because he had people coming at him. Because
did I
I
need a
really
little
loved
bit
that part of it too.
for John Walker? Did I need a little bit more to show?
It's a lot.
Did I need a little bit more to show him in that moment? Now they did try to show it, because like he's holding his shield, his makeshift shield, and he's looking at his Medal of Honor in there, and like that's kind of welling him up to like be like, okay, wait a minute, like I need to kind of focus on why I'm doing this. Like, do I want to fall into that revenge hole and everything like that? And like to really tie up John Walker, I thought it was a little too easy how John Walker got off. I was like, we didn't forget that he murdered a guy in front of everybody on international soil, kind of an international terrorist in the eyes of other countries, and now he's back on his own, like fighting and stuff like that. Like
slight bit of redemption,
little bit of redemption. So and there's definitely more to him. He definitely he's going to be
and
back.
we're gonna get a lot more.
He's going to be back for sure. He just went. I was actually shocked that he went.
Great job, White Russell.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell was great. I was actually surprised. I was surprised that he went full blownsies U.S. agent that fast, but I'm happy he did. I'm happy he did. And the black suit's so much better than the blue suit for sure. It's so good.
Just black.
It's just black. So which says a lot about the character of U.S. agent too. But I thought that not as like I don't think Walker's ending was as was as earned. I thought it was a little bit quick. Maybe if this episode had like a 20 extra minutes to kind of like wrap up characters and like their thought process and how they're doing, like maybe a small 5-minute scene with him and his wife being like, look, like him talking about how he like focused on the fact that he didn't have to go with, but maybe that's not like what the MCU is going for with John Walker. Maybe they want to have him feel like everything should come to him easy, like he should be a hero. Like maybe that's,
and it is happening for him right now with the introduction of Julie Louis-Dreyfus's character, who essentially nicknamed Madam Hydra. It's this is kind of what's coming. We're going to see this new group of people. I mean, we got so many things that are stemming from these shows. We have the Young Avengers being developed. We're now getting a little hint or semblance of at least of Thunderbolts. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But they did leave it wide open for him, and I'm really glad because Wyatt Russell did a great job with this character.
He did a good job.
And
it's so good. He was getting real life death threats over his portrayal of Captain America. He was that good. Yeah. So, not
Bucky,
bad.
Let's break down Bucky a little bit.
Yeah, so Bucky, like I said, this was the Sam show. So Bucky was there to kick a little ass and take some names, and be there in support. I love his full-blown support for Sam. Like we knew once Sam accepted the mantle, Bucky was going to be there for it. We knew
right there beside
that was going to happen, but to see it happen was all the more sweeter. Him calling him Cap and embracing that Sam is finally made it to that level.
The new duo power team.
Yeah, I love it, man. It was really, really great.
Hanging with the family and everything. Like it's a beautiful moment seeing Bucky being welcomed in, just like he was in Wakanda.
Yeah, the ending scene was
tribe,
great.
part of the village. So it was great to see those faux smiles he had at the beginning of the series, where he was talking to the therapist and he's just playing
Lost.
it off. I didn't have dreams, didn't have this. Truly connected with Sam, and now you see these genuine smiles, his moments of joy, and then he finally wrapped it up. He told the truth. He exposed himself, but opened up his heart and told the truth about what happened, and that was the final step of him, not being this, in his head, not being the bad guy, knowing that he is gonna be okay, and Steve was right about him. He was redeemable, and now he is.
Yep, I agree. Let's jump over real quick to the villain. So we had Carly and the Flag Smashers. At the end of the day, they were pretty much wiped off the map.
Zemo got his revenge on them.
Zemo did get his revenge since they were superpowered, and he, of course, hates them. So he ordered his butler to take him out in an explosion. But before that, Carly, had her big showdown with John Walker and Sam and Bucky, and if there was anything that was necessarily the weak part of this show, was probably the Flag Smashers, but there's a reason for it. I mean, it's clear. It's clear, and it's not a secret that there was a whole subplot that was written out of this show at the last minute because of COVID. COVID really affected the show, and if there's any character that affected the most, it's the character of the Flag Smashers and Carly. There was a lot missing. They had to piecemeal everything back together. So I never really understood their fight and their plight. Yeah, they want life to be like it was during the blip, but like, what does that really, really mean? Because they never really explained why it was so good for them, because all we've seen is bad. We've seen neighborhoods like downtrodden and basically turn into ruins. Look at the town in WandaVision. It was just like, come on, in 5 years, no one could clean up. Like, really? Like, so it was that
even
bad.
When Ant-Man came back,
it was terrible. It was like The Walking Dead. Yeah. So like, you haven't convinced me that life was that good. Like, the bad guy in WandaVision even said, you have no idea how bad it was. So like, why does a ragtag group of rebel freedom fighters want to go back to that? Like, I never believed their fight. So they were the weakest part. Their story ended, and I was kind of glad that they did. I had no emotional attachment to them as villains. I'm a villains guy. I think a show and a movie lives and dies by its villains, and I thought this was just a little bit weak. I thought John Walker was more of the the
main
protagonist that
antagonist
really
for this.
he was the one he wasn't the main antagonist. It was clearly the Flag Smashers, but I think that he was he worked the most in the entire show. Like I believed him as an antagonist. I believed his fight. I believed his issues. Whatever issues he had that was making him like his mind tweak and get violent and everything. I believed it. I understood it. I never felt that it never felt unearned. Like it felt like it had a place, and the Flag Smashers were just all over the place, and it's clearly because they had to do reshoots.
What's good about it is they're gone.
They're gone. They're gone.
And then we get Agent Carter, the power broker. It comes out officially that she is the power broker. She made some power moves and everything. And her little confrontation with Carly, it was also.
Sold.
You're not
I'm
sold
not
that
sold.
she's the power broker?
No, I'm not sold.
Think she's working for somebody then?
Batroc called her out. And she never said, yeah, that's me. And she has always referred to the power broker as him. I think there's more. I think there's something up with Sharon. I'm not buying this power broker thing. Not yet. I can. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed too easy. Too easy. The power broker doesn't like to get their hands dirty. She's literally fist fighting in half the scene she's in. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm not sold. I think she was just playing coy. I think she was staring Batroc down, being like, all right, believe what you want to believe. But she never and like I feel like the show on purpose never like dug deeper into that fact at all. Like we saw her. How you doing? Like we saw her at the end. She gets to have a pardon and come back to the States and everything, which is kind of what we expected for Sharon. But then she's like turning around and going, all right, it's time to be evil again. I think that there is some space for her character to say that maybe with Secret Wars coming out, she's a Skrull trying to kind of like take over from the inside and stuff like that, because that is the story to Secret Wars. And we do know it is confirmed by Kevin Feige that there are a couple of characters who we're very familiar with from past movies that have been Skrulls or are Skrulls. And I think it is possible that Sharon Carter is one of them. So it may be her as the power broker. I don't think this is Agent 13 Sharon Carter. Or if it is,
well, we will find out soon.
I don't think she's a power broker. There's just too much there. Nothing really got confirmed by her to say it is me. Like Marvel does that on purpose. Like they do that like with the Mandarin. It's like, okay, well, we're fighting the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 and everything like that, and all of a sudden, bam, I'm not the Mandarin. Like they're there to like really nail these down, and I feel like it could have been, if she is the power broker, I feel like it would have been a little bit more straightforward, and it wasn't. Not for me, at least.
Right.
Not for me.
We will find out, though.
We will. Hopefully.
Right, and it leaves us like, kind of just wrapping it up with, once again, just the beautiful moments of having Sam, like I said, take this mantle and the way that he did it with, once again, that purity, that righteousness, and being a good man, not only a good soldier. And for him, when he's talking to the congressman, the Senate, when he's having that little, aside with them, I don't have superpowers. I didn't have the serum. I didn't have, anything to help me. Only thing I have is what I believe. And what I believe is we can do better.
I agree. And what he was talking about, like everybody says that, like we can do better, but no one really explains what we can do to be better. And he explained it to the senator very, very well. And it was one of my favorite parts of the show. Before we get to my favorite part of the show, which is Isaiah Bradley. And that congressman was like, you just don't get it, man. You don't understand.
You don't get it.
How to work in the world that we currently reside in. You just don't know. And like Sam was like, no, you don't get it. And I think it was so poignant to say that we can do better, and then explain why we can do better, and why was the key term. And it was one of my favorite lines in the entire show. I'm not saying that I'm not saying verbatim and everything, but like you're gonna sit here and you're gonna demonize Carly, and you're gonna demonize her and go after her and try to kill her, but you're never once gonna stop and ask yourself, why is she doing this? And that was a parallel to not just Carly and the Flag Smashers, but to how people view Black America as well. I mean, it was clear that that was also a parallel point that he was making, and a beautiful point, I believe. And he shut that senator down to a point, and everybody heard his speech, and it shut it down to a point where I feel it worked, because the cops even were like, "Hey, Cap," and that got me, because like he's like, "Hey, man, it's another Flag Smasher. We need to go get him." Like I love that so much. How some people did just immediately gravitate towards Sam. The crowd was really great too. Like, hey, it's the Black Falcon. Nah, man, that's our Captain America. Like, I love that so much. And anybody who has a problem with it, like I said in the front of the show, I'll be honest with you, you can unsubscribe right now. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you have a problem with this, you can unsubscribe, because it was a beautiful scene. It was an important scene. It needed to happen, and I'm glad it did. And there was no more up until watching this finale. I just went on a tear of interviews with Bucky and Sam and everybody, and like Vanity Fair video shoots and stuff like that, like asking them random questions. And I'm just in love with these guys. They seem like stand-up guys, down to earth, really good people, and not very many people are deserving of such great characters that are important to society and important. Like, it's all fiction. Like, this is all fiction, and at the end of the day, unimportant. But it is important for some people.
Yes, the meaning behind it and the message.
Yeah, and not many messages were as important as after the fight, after he proved that he can be a black man wearing the stars and stripes, went to Isaiah Bradley. And my favorite part of this entire season, is when he went to him, and Isaiah still didn't believe it, man. Still didn't believe that this was gonna work. And then he took Isaiah to the best place he could, took him to the Smithsonian, to the Captain America exhibit, and gave Isaiah his due justice. Recognized him as someone who played a heavy part in the creation of the heroes that we love. And and just to see a man who for many episodes was hateful, broken, betrayed, untrustworthy of anyone, to just embrace Sam. And like, he had no words but just to hug Sam. I'm talking, that was one of the most powerful things I've seen in many years. I applaud the creators of the show to put something together that was so poignant. Like, there are so many really emotional scenes in the MCU. Like in Endgame, there is the scene at the very end where the portals open up and then everybody spills forth. The Avengers theme's going. I will cry 100% of the time that I watch that scene, especially the versions where there's the audience. You can hear the audience in the theater like screaming along with it.
Yeah,
I have
chills.
Just as much of a reaction from those two men in that Smithsonian as I did with that scene, man. That was powerful. It was real. And you can argue it's more important. It's more important. I loved this show. I liked it more than WandaVision. As great as WandaVision was, I'm all in 100%. And it just goes to show Marvel's 2 for 2 for their TV endeavors.
7 weeks until Loki.
And Loki looks like it's going to be just as good. And I am all for it. PL, go ahead and give me final thoughts on what you're feeling, man.
All right, absolutely. I mean, we don't differ on much of this when it comes to how much we love this show. It was great. It's been a fun ride. Like I said, I'm so sad to see it go, but there was talks. There very well could be a season 2, but we do know we're getting Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie or Sam at the helm as Captain America, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some Bucky in there and maybe get some answers about Old Man Steve.
Maybe
we have a lot
will.
of ground to cover between now and then, though. Okay, we have a lot of ground to cover.
So until then, if you enjoyed Falcon, nay, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, if you enjoyed that show, Let us know in the comments how you felt. And let us know whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. Hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to follow up with you on your thoughts. And you guys take care. Have a good one.
Until the next show.